Neil, you look amazing on our countdown to kickoff set. Do you just want to, after every game, just come on over and sit in that same spot? That looks good to
This
me.
is the first time I've been here, actually. I think I've been so locked into the games, I didn't even know this was here. So
We
it's
do
nice.
we do the pregame, postgame there for home games, which is pretty cool. And you guys just had a scrimmage at the stadium. I mean, you have a handful of these a year. You have 6 games, and then so it's always special when you're at the stadium. What was the scrimmage like today?
It was good. I think we had pretty much about 25 plays were kind of the ones we went thud. And then about 50 plays, the 2s and 3s, 4s, they all went live and stuff. But overall, I thought it was good. I think we remained healthy for the most part. And I think that's the biggest thing leading up to Arizona.
You said went thud, so you kind of just make that initial contact, but don't wrap up, kind of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anyone that when they come up to you, you just like give them a little more of a thud, like you have a friendly encounter?
I think it probably depends on the play. So if you had gotten someone, I know the running backs, they all kind of watch out for each other. So if a linebacker or the end tries to, does a little more, I know that next play, whoever's in, they try to go after that player or whatever, just to give them a little more nudge. But I think us receivers stay calm and cool pretty much for the most part.
How'd the scrimmage go? Because here we are 3 weeks away from today, when this airs, it's a little bit less than that, from BYU in Arizona, man.
I thought it went well. There's a couple penalties, but I think overall, I think as an offense, we moved the ball really, really well up and down the field. Certain penalties that cost us to move back, which would turn into 3 points, knowing that Jake's going to knock them down. But we'd rather have 7 up on the board. So I think with these next 2 scrimmages that we have, we'll clean them up and we'll be ready when the time's here.
Were the reps among the quarterbacks with the ones still split into 3?
Yes. So each quarterback had their own, whatever their total amount of reps was. And Fessy and A-Rod had them each go with whoever the ones were with the 1-0 line, and then me, Gunner, and whoever the third receiver was.
A lot of the conversation, obviously, in fall camps about the quarterback. So let's go there for a sec. Is there a point where, as a receiver, you would prefer to know who the guy is, or does it not matter?
I don't know. We built so much chemistry with Zach that, I felt that by the time, even when there was some speculation that there was a battle or whatever, we kind of knew that it was Zach. It would be nice to know maybe by next week or something. So we have 2 weeks pretty much to prepare with that one quarterback to know how we like the ball and when we want the ball now compared to, other receivers. They get a better feel for how we work and how we slide and catch the ball. So, I think 2 weeks before the game would be nice, but knowing Kalani, who knows,
You can name names if you want, but earlier in the week, Kalani Sitake said there hasn't been that much separation, but that he thought that might happen soon. Was he basically saying, hey, we're going to scrimmage and kind of see?
I have no clue. I think I agree with Kalani. There hasn't been much separation. I've texted him at the beginning of camp for just one of them just to go and take it for everybody to see, you're the man, and however it plays out, it plays out. But we know that they did everything that they could to just win over the team. So whoever does that, I think that the best, they'll win it.
No one's talking about using 2 quarterbacks, which is a good thing because I hate that. I don't know about you. It's like in the past, we've always done it a little bit. It never works, man. You got to name a guy, right?
Exactly. I agree with you on that one.
Okay, how are you doing in camp? Because I was told by somebody important that, hey, Neil Pau'u is the best receiver right now. So that was quite the compliment.
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think with, the 2 brothers, although I knew kind of my position in the receiver group with the 2 brothers, them coming, it kind of just raises your level of play. Had a great off season. Just working out, working on what I need to do, and then watching a ton of film, I think was probably the biggest thing. So coming into fall camp, I haven't really seen anything new, watching defenses from the NFL and how certain receivers run it against, DBs in the league. I've kind of translated that to college, where college is a little simpler. So the game's moving a little slow to me right now compared to the past where it's moving a little faster.
And because of COVID, you're not a senior, you're a junior, which is exciting.
Yeah.
When you first showed up, it was 2017, Portland State. You make a great move. You dive into the end zone. You score a touchdown. You're not sure if you fumbled it, so you dive on it after that. But that was 4 years ago in a couple of weeks. You've had this awesome journey. And of course, your journey has been one of redemption, of what, a mistake and coming back. I've always really respected you, Neil, for the fact that you were still around. You didn't leave. You didn't sulk. You didn't hide. You were around. How has this journey been for you of going through that, coming back, and now being one of the main guys and a leader in this group?
I think it's cool. I think I'll have some time to reflect on it when, football's all done and said. But, you do have those moments where you do look back and just super grateful, I think, is the biggest thing for me. For Fessy sticking with me, because me and Fessy had our ups and downs when he first got in. Me and my parents, just what I was doing, we had our ups and downs. For all of it to come back and, come full circle to where now I'm in a great relationship with, both Fessy, my parents, my family, but most importantly, myself. I feel like I've been in the best mindset and mind frame going into the season. So I'm excited to see what the season has in store, to put myself in the best position also for hopefully next year I can do exactly what, Dax did.
And that's sort of the goal, right? He paved the way of like totally off the NFL radar to totally on it and being drafted. So what did you learn from the Dax experience that makes it so you feel like you could have a similar year?
Yeah, me and Dax are boys, and I think I was the closest to Dax out of the receiver group. And me and him just love talking football. And him just taking his craft super seriously, even during practice and even when he didn't want to be out there, he just, put his helmet, strapped it up, and just went. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I took from Dax, that he just continued just to grind from walk-on to now scholarship, and then putting aside off the field situations with his mom, knowing that whole story with him to just come and just play football. It was time to play football and categorize certain things. So Dax is my boy, and just thankful for learning those things from him.
It was fun to see him get a couple of catches, have a great punt return the other night. That was pretty cool.
No, it was.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about this group of receivers. You mentioned the Nakua's come in. Obviously, Gunner's back. There's some really talented young guys that are developing as well. Chase Roberts back from a mission. Like if Chase in a regular year, I feel like Chase Roberts would get like a ton of run this year, but I feel like it's a loaded room where he can actually just kind of figure it out and then be a big player the next couple of years. What's that room like? As you mentioned, that could be a threatening thing to like your own playing time, but it feels like it's not with the group. It feels like, no, we're going to be way good together.
Yeah, I think that's because of the culture that Kalani has set, that, obviously everybody wants to play, but because the culture is so strong, everyone's pretty friendly, not going to lie. We all just are trying to support each other. And obviously they'll be bummed, whoever's out there with me and Gunner come Arizona and who's getting more playing time and stuff. But I think for the most part, we do a great job of just supporting each other when people make big catches. Tanner Wall and Talmadge Gunther, they had some big time catches today. And we were all just like super, super happy for them. So I think that's the group right now and how the room's been.
Are you guys still riding the high of the NIL walk-on thing? Because that made this amazing splash nationally. Yeah,
I think yesterday was kind of like the last bit of it. Or maybe when it happened that day, I think guys are just, it happened. It was super dope. Obviously, everybody was super excited, but now it's just time to get back to work.
Okay, so no is the answer. Defensively, who sticks out that's sort of emerged as the guy that maybe last year we weren't talking about, but that you've noticed on the other end, like, oh, they're really good.
Yeah. So I'd mentioned D'Lo. There's someone I probably would just give it to the linebackers. The linebackers just seem like they're everywhere, from Max Tooley to Peyton to Keenan Peely. Trying to trick them for opposing offenses, I think will be pretty tough because those guys can move. They're smooth, fast, love the game of football, and understand it super well. So I think that whole group as a whole will be tough to go against.
And let's finish with this. Everyone, there's love languages. Everyone wants like two of that. There's a book about it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants words or validation, words of affirmation, right? Everyone wants that to some degree. With you, it's interesting. You have done nothing to not deserve more conversation about you, right? Yeah. But last year, the conversation is around Dax, and it's Gunner, and it's like, there's Neil, Mr. Consistent. How much do you want or need that to thrive personally versus, you know what, it doesn't matter to me?
Yeah, I think from high school, I really wasn't obviously the biggest recruit, and I'm not the type of person that seeks that. or needs that really. I think I'm pretty self-driven to know that, you know, that stuff will come. And if I just stay even keel, keep my head down, just to stay on task and stay on course, I think everything will come. I think everyone's journey is a little different. And Dax had his a little sooner than mine. And, you know, if this is the year that mine finally happens out of these, you know, 4 years, then so be it. But I think there's just a time and place for things to happen. I'm just excited to see what the future holds.
Well, I love that attitude. And honestly, you are underrated. And the fact that you're playing so well and now you're even more of a leader in this group with a better group, right, is awesome. I can't wait to see you and this group play this year, and appreciate you taking the time, man.
No, thank you. We'll be ready come Arizona.